You ever hear somebody say, I don't mean to sound like a racist, but, and then proceed to say some racist ass shit? Well, I got a story for you. Alright, so take it back to my college days, hitting parties here and there. And where I went to school, it was like a branch campus to like a main, bigger school. If you watch the show, you could probably figure out where and which school it is. But I won't say any names. I don't want to get my ass sued. Um, but I actually went to a party with some friends down at the main campus, and while we was there, I was at a party, locked eyes with this girl. Um, Approached her, started talking. Come to find out, she went to like the same campus that I did. So got the number. You know, text a little bit here and there. Things that didn't like spark like I thought it would. But so is life. So like a month passes, and she hits me up out of the blue. Is like, yo, what you doing tonight? And I'm like, hype, because I'm like, oh, like, all right, finally, finally about to like, link up, see what's good. So she was like, oh, like she had to do, go to like this event at school, like town hall, I guess, or something like that, for one of her classes for like extra credit. So I've had to like go to like shit like that myself, and I know it's like boring as hell, blah 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 blah. But I was like, all right, it's at least an opportunity to like spend time and like get to know each other, whatever, whatever. And boy, was I not prepared for what followed. So I'll go, and we linked up, met up, walked to the thing, and like I was like kind of like trying to put my little Mac down and talk, flirt a little bit, whatever, whatever. And then we finally get to the thing, and it was like a racism in America, or like a town hall on racism, and I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, first of all, bro, like our school was like 80% white. It was like only like a handful of like black people, and if it's like a handful of black people, it was like a crumb or two of any other type of non-black or white people. So we go into the thing, and everybody spread out, sitting down. Like I seen some people like I knew, and what up, what's up, dapped up, like, oh, like, Suge, like, so you, I'm like, yeah, man, like we hanging out, blah blah blah. And so this John get, so this thing gets started, and like I think the main topic was, at the time, they were um building a mosque, like a couple blocks away from like Ground Zero, or the where they was building the World Trade Center at the time. And I'm sitting there, it's like Pennsylvania, and I'm like the only person that actually is like, I'm probably most likely the only person I lived in New York and is actually from New York. So I'm like, I know the area. And they was basically saying like, oh, like, the crux of it was like to find out, to pool people or survey or get everybody's like thoughts or ideas on whether or not it was, insensitive to build a mosque. And first of all, I'm like, obviously I'm like talking to um, the girl I was with, and I'm just like, it shouldn't really like matter because like the people that did 9/11, like they were religiously Muslims, but it's not like Muslims in general were, got together and was like, we're gonna do this. Like it was like a terrorist group, much in the same way that like for Christians, like, the Ku Klux Klan is like a terrorist sect of Christianity, or they themselves practice Christianity, their form of Christianity, and try to justify their stuff with Christianity the same way like Al Qaeda and like the Taliban did try to like justify like their terrorist stuff with their religion. But you never heard like if like there's probably like churches um all across like the South that's built on or around places where like black people or people who were different, people who were terrorized by the Ku Klux Klan died or were lynched and died. And nobody says like, oh, that's like insensitive there. So that was like my thoughts on it. But like it was insane to me because it had like a whole bunch of like people. Every time they got like the microphone, everybody started off everybody started off and it would be like, okay, I'm not trying to sound racist, but blah 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 blah, and it'd be some like absurdly like racist shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck? If you're gonna say some racist shit, like you don't need to like have a disclaimer that it might sound racist, but you're not a racist. Like, but you probably are a racist. Like, just own it. But I just thought it's funny because especially in like this day and age with like all the anti-black killings by police and um racial insensitivity in general. And now we're seeing a lot of it with like people in like the Asian community that are getting faced with a lot of hate crimes and stuff like that. That like, to this day you still hear a lot of people starting off with the I'm not racist, but and then proceed to say something that's like absurdly racist. It's not even like mildly racist. Like if it was on like the Buffalo Wild Wings like wing chart, it would be like in a flaming hot of the racist part, like not like the mild part. But it was cool. I got to like it was like a weird experience, but like I got to like hang out with this girl. She was cool as hell. Things didn't like we like chatted for we talked and hung out for a little while. Long after that, it didn't really like grow into nothing. She's cool as hell to this day. If you're watching, you know who you are, and shout out to you. But yeah, like I just thought about that, like with all the stuff, like especially like we talked about The Bachelor, and then we talked about like the real world and the racist part of like a lot of people not realizing that they were raised ignorant and they don't really like confront their ignorance because their ignorance is never really like confronted. So that's where I got that idea because I always remember that shit. I'm always like everybody always says something wild, like they always start off I'm not racist, but and then it's just like, bro, like you're doing your best impression of a racist, like right after. But yeah, that was my story, man. Story time with Suge.